This is a detailing brush kit that you would typically associate with using to clean your car, such as the interior or perhaps even your wheels. But in this video, I found that this brush kit has been really helpful in cleaning other things such as computer components, and in this case, a GPU. So in the video today, I'll show you how I use this detailing brush kit to clean this dirty GPU to get it ready for use again. Let's get started. Now, the first thing in this particular process is taking apart the graphics card. If you don't know how to take apart graphics card, or if you're doing this, I would definitely do some tutorials and make sure you know what you're doing, or if you're not comfortable, don't do this particular process. Again, this is just to show you how I use this typically automotive-based detailing brush kit to clean something that's not automotive, in this case electronic computer parts. And as you can see, now that I've got this taken apart, how actually dusty and dirty this graphics card actually is. You can see the brown dust all over this. It's pretty gross. I probably should be wearing gloves, rubber gloves, but that's fine, whatever. There's alcohol in my hands afterwards. And even on the board you can kind of see the dust streaks with the fans there. That's old thermal paste on top of the GPU die itself. And then on the back side here, we'll be using this to clean. And when dusting something like this, because it is a brush, it doesn't absorb or vacuum up dust. If you just simply brush the dust off of this, you're putting all that dust and dirt into the air. And so what I like to do is have a vacuum nearby, and I will actually have this kind of just setting here and on. And then as I clean any particular component or part, I'll have this on and I'll kind of brush towards the vacuum so that the vacuum will suck in any of the dust that I will be brushing or cleaning off of the various components. And so with that, it's going to get loud, so I'll just show this, maybe play some background music instead as I go ahead and do this. And I like to typically start with this coarse, this one here, the coarse head. It's basically, as I understand it, these are boar's fur, as far as that. So it's still soft, but it is a little bit coarse, but it's not super rigid like this hard plastic style. And I like this because I can clean, in particular, the fan areas, the shrouds, and within the heat sinks. And this I'm going to wash afterwards, since it's just a metal component with no electronics on it, to kind of get the initial thick layer off before I start getting into the more fine, softer brushes. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, and now as you can see, it's I've gotten off at least the major thick coat of dust, at least on this inside area here. As you saw, I did not turn it over and brush off that quite yet. But for the most part, it's gotten rid of a lot of the initial coat of dirt. Now, to get off this really fine kind of coat here, since it's just a brush, I will need some sort of wet application cleaner. So I have these special Q-tips, if you will, that I put a little bit of rubbing alcohol and wipe this down a little bit further. But you can see this brush was very good at cleaning off the initial layer of dust and dirt that was on this particular shroud. And so now I'm going to go and switch to the board itself here. And I'm going to be using actually this brush, which is the detailer brush, perfect for delicate areas, like a circuit board here, or a PCB board on this graphics card, to include the die. This one actually has a lot softer, finer, it's a synthetic material bristles on it, and it's just stiff enough that it can get in there good without damaging. And I have cleaned multiple GPUs now with this detailing kit, and which is why I'm confident in showing this to you now. And I like to use this one because it is still soft, but a little bit more firm than this, which is extremely soft. This actually feels really nice. It's super soft, but it's not very rigid at all. So I like to use this one in particular to start off with, to get the initial coats and layers of dirt off of boards like this. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, and so now you can see that this brush was soft enough to clean this actually quite well. Practically all the dust on this is gone that I could tell from it. May have to do a little bit of alcohol wipe here on certain areas, and that's fine, but for the most part, this brush did clean off this board quite well on the inside as well as the back side of it as well. And so this is a very handy brush for cleaning stuff that's a little bit more delicate, a little bit more sensitive, without having to use this ultra soft brush, which is so you can see how that's super easily bending around because it is so soft. And so it doesn't really, I found, because it is so soft, it doesn't really have enough force, if you will, to loosen the dirt and debris and the dust that's stuck to the board to be able to clean it effectively. Now, if like I said before, I was going to wash this, but I'll do an initial clean with this. I do like to use, since this is just a metal heat sink, I am comfortable and will use more of the coarse brush as well as even this rigid brush sometimes. And so let's go ahead and take a demonstration of that. Alright, so now you can see we're using a combination of the rigid precision brush, and I use that to kind of get into the fins and break apart things that might have been stuck inside here. And again, this is a rigid one, which a lot of times will be used on cleaning things like your wheel rims, something that you need a more rigid brush for. And then I kind of just used this brush, which is softer but a little bit more coarse than the other two brushes, to clean off some of that stuff that's on the outer edges and perimeters of the fins. Again, this is something that you can easily wash and just let dry and reinstall. This just gets off that initial layer of dirt and dust that may be stuck to it. But again, good uses of the different types of brush heads for cleaning this particular electronic component. And so you can see I disassembled this a little bit further. I was able to take the fan and motor off of the shroud with its mounting. That way I can clean into these areas a little bit better, as well as better access the inside parts of these fan fins with the brush heads. So we'll go ahead and do that. Again, for this, I'm going to be using this boar bristle coarse brush head for this particular cleaning. And then this, after I clean it initially, I'll probably just do a good wash on this because there's no electronic components attached to this as well. But this is a good brush head for cleaning off the initial layer of dirt on there. Alright, so now that we've done it, you can see that it's cleaned even better now that I had a little bit better access to the different areas of the shroud here. Again, now I've got the initial layer of dirt off, I'll probably just give this a good quick rinse to let it then dry. And then on the fan, you can see that I was able to clean it off a lot more. And so now I'll just take a Q-tip and just kind of clean this off a little bit better if I want it. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is really clean enough to be able to put back together and put back into service. Alright, so now I've got this all washed off. Again, I used the different brushes, or this brush in particular, primarily to clean this off really well, to get the initial layer of dust and dirt off of it before giving it a quick rinse. And it looks practically brand new again. And then again with the fan, same brush, and then now I just took a little Q-tip cleaner with some rubbing alcohol to finish cleaning it just a little bit better. Here we utilized the detailing soft but sort of rigid brush to clean off this board. And then on the heat sink, which is just plain a block of metal really with some fins carved out of it, I just used the rigid precision as well as the coarse detail brush to help clean that off initially before going ahead and just rinsing off the rest of that. So now that I've got this basically clean, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this GPU and we'll show you what it looks like in the end. Okay, so now I have the GPU fully reassembled, and you can see that I did wash again some of the parts, but used the brush kit to get the initial cleaning off. You can see that this looks really good now. It's practically brand new looking, cleaned off really well thanks to the brush kit as well as some additional cleaning aside from that on top of it. So, although this particular kit generally tends to be associated with automotive cleaning and detailing, it does have multitudes of purposes to include helping to clean electronic components like this GPU. Alright guys, so that's how I've used this detailing brush kit to clean a GPU. I'd be interested to know what you might have been using a detail brush kit like this for to clean other than automotive purposes. If you guys thought this video was helpful and informative, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you get notices when I post new content to the channel. I got more in the works and on the way, and I'd love to share that with you. Thanks again for watching guys, and have a great day.